The night was a shroud of impenetrable darkness, swallowing the road ahead as my car sliced through the velvety blackness. I had been on this desolate highway for hours, surrounded only by the rhythmic hum of the engine and the occasional flicker of distant stars. The clock on the dashboard read 1:53, and fatigue weighed on my eyelids. I had taken a wrong turn somewhere, lured by the promise of a shortcut that my weary mind now regretted. The GPS taunted me with its robotic voice, announcing that I was off course. The road seemed to stretch endlessly into oblivion, flanked by dense woods that whispered secrets to each other in the cool night breeze. A sense of unease clung to the air, a thick fog that blurred the edges of reality. The road narrowed, the tree branches forming a tunnel of shadows overhead. The headlights struggled against the encroaching darkness, revealing fleeting glimpses of gnarled trees that seemed to lean in as if conspiring with the night itself. As I continued, the forest closed in, its oppressive silence broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves and the distant hooting of an unseen owl. The isolation pressed against me, a weight that settled in the pit of my muscle. A glance at the fuel gauge added an extra layer of concern. It hovered dangerously close to empty, while the GPS, now seemingly mocking me, declared lost satellite signal. I sighed, resigned to navigating the old-fashioned way, following the road signs that appeared intermittently, like apparitions in the dark. The anxiety of being lost in this sea of trees intensified with every passing mile. Just as the solitude threatened to become unbearable, I noticed a dim light in the distance. Relief washed over me as I approached what seemed to be a gas station, its neon sign flickering like a beacon in the night. Pulling into the gravel lot, I couldn't shake the feeling that the place seemed frozen in time. The gas station looked like something out of a forgotten era, a relic from the 1950s, complete with rusting pumps and a creaky swinging sign that protested each gust of wind. The harsh white light overhead buzzed intermittently, casting long, eerie shadows across the cracked pavement. I hesitated before stepping out of the car, the air outside heavy with a peculiar stillness. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it a melody that felt like an ancient lament. The gas station attendant, a stooped figure clad in faded overalls, emerged from the shadows, his face obscured by the brim of a worn-out cap. Stranger, he mumbled, his voice a gravelly rasp. I offered a polite nod and handed him my credit card, his gnarled hands moving with an almost mechanical precision. The transaction was completed in silence, the only sound the dull clinking of the ancient register. As the pump clicked to life, I wandered toward the convenience store, its flickering neon sign spelling out open in erratic bursts of light. The door creaked open with a resistance that spoke of years without proper maintenance. Inside, the air was heavy with the scent of dust and stale air. Shelves lined with products bearing labels that seemed ancient, their colors faded and their packaging discolored. It felt like stepping into a forgotten time capsule, a place untouched by the relentless march of progress. The silence inside was oppressive, broken only by the occasional drip of a leaky faucet. I grabbed a pack of snacks and approached the counter, where the gas station attendant stood motionless. His eyes, hidden in the shadow of his cap, seemed to follow my every move. Unease crept over me, a prickling sensation on the back of my neck that refused to dissipate. "How much do I owe you?" I asked, my voice betraying a hint of nervousness. The attendant mumbled a number that seemed oddly low. As I handed him the cash, his cold fingers brushed against mine, sending a shiver down my spine. The faintest hint of a smile flickered across his face, revealing yellowed teeth that seemed too sharp for a man of his age. I left the store, the rusty bell above the door jingling behind me. The gas pump clicked, signaling that my tank was full. I climbed back into my car, the unsettling encounter at the gas station lingering in my thoughts. A forest, now shrouded in an even denser fog, seemed to have closed in further, the trees leaning over the road like silent sentinels. As I drove away from the gas station, the road twisted and turned, a labyrinth of uncertainty. The headlights illuminated the fog, creating a disorienting dance of shadows that played tricks on my tired mind. The GPS, once again in operation, instructed me to turn onto a narrow path that seemed to lead deeper into the heart of the woods. As the path became increasingly treacherous, the overgrown foliage scraping against the sides of my car, I hesitated, debating whether to continue or turn back, but a strange compulsion urged me forward. The forest seemed to pulse with an unseen energy, a force that guided me deeper into its enigmatic embrace. As I drove, the fog thickened, reducing visibility to almost zero. The headlights struggled to pierce the opaque wall that surrounded me. My heart raced, and a sense of dread settled over me, as if I were entering a realm where the laws of reality no longer applied. Suddenly, the headlights revealed a dilapidated mansion looming in the mist. It stood like a ghostly sentinel, its windows shattered and its walls adorned with ivy that seemed to writhe in the darkness. The car slowed to a stop, and I stared at the foreboding structure that rose from the fog like a specter of forgotten time. A voice, soft and alluring, seemed to beckon me from within the mansion's depths. It whispered promises of answers to questions I didn't know I had, secrets that waited to be uncovered. Against my better judgment, I stepped out of the car and approached the decaying entrance. The door groaned open, and a gust of stale air rushed out, carrying with it the scent of decay. The mansion's interior was a tapestry of shadows, each step echoing through the hollow halls. Dust particles danced in the dim light, creating a spectral ballad that accompanied my hesitant progress. As I explored the mansion, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. The walls seemed to absorb my presence, the air pregnant with the weight of forgotten memories. Flickering candlelight illuminated portraits on the walls, faces frozen in expressions of agony, their eyes following my every move. In a room at the end of a long corridor, I discovered an ancient journal. Its leather cover was worn and cracked, and its pages bore the scent of bygone eras. As I read the entries, a tale unfolded. A family bound by an unholy pact, a mansion cursed by the sins of the past, and a forest that hungered for the souls of the lost. The journal spoke of a ritual hidden within the heart of the forest, a ritual that could break the curse that bound the mansion and its tortured inhabitants. The words were cryptic, a mix of incantations and symbols that seemed to dance across the pages. The more I read, the more I felt a compulsion, a calling to complete the ritual and unearth the secrets that lay dormant. Blessed with trepidation, I ventured back into the fog-draped forest, the mansion fading into the mist behind me. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy as I followed an invisible path, guided by a force beyond comprehension. The whispers of the trees seemed to harmonize with the rhythmic beating of my heart. As I reached the heart of the forest, I discovered an ancient altar, bathed in an ethereal light that seemed to emanate from the very fabric of the night. Symbols adorned the altar, their meaning lost to time. Just a ritual, a symphony of incantations and gestures unfolded like a dance between worlds. The air thickened with power, and the forest itself seemed to acknowledge the ritual. The shadows retreated, revealing the spectral beauty of the ancient trees. A gust of wind swept through the clearing, carrying with it a sense of release, as if the very essence of the curse had dissipated. With the ritual complete, I stood alone in the heart of the once foreboding woods. The oppressive fog lifted, revealing the moonlit night in all its eerie splendor. The trees stood tall and proud, no longer bearing the weight of a malevolent force. I made my way back to the car, the forest now bathed in the gentle glow of the moon. The path, once treacherous, seemed to guide me back to the main road. The GPS signaled a reconnection, its robotic voice announcing that I was back on course. As I drove away from that haunting place, the memories of the night lingered like fragments of a dream. The forest, once a realm of darkness, now stood as a testament to the delicate balance between the natural and the supernatural. The road stretched out ahead, a journey into the unknown that left me with more questions than answers. The night gradually surrendered to the dawn, and I emerged from the forest, the first light casting long shadows on the road. The gas station from earlier appeared in the distance, its neon sign now steady and unwavering. I drove past it, glancing at the empty lot that seemed frozen in time. Whilst the sun rose on the horizon, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, I continued my journey, the road winding through familiar landscapes. The memories of the haunted forest and the dilapidated mansion lingered in the recesses of my mind, a surreal experience that defied logic and reason. As the miles passed, I couldn't shake the feeling that the night had been more than a mere detour. It was a journey into the unknown, a dance with the supernatural that left an indelible mark on my soul. The road ahead, bathed in the morning light, seemed to stretch endlessly, promising both answers and mysteries yet to unfold.